Hello and welcome to Beyond the Bio, the recap. In these super short Thursday episodes, I am recapping the show that came out on Monday and, along with a few reflections, thinking about an action that you can take as a result. I'm a big fan of taking action rather than just consuming content, so really keen to share some key takeaways that you can put in place today. So this week I was chatting to Marianne Page, who runs a global small business focused on helping other successful small business owners in any industry to build an operation that runs like clockwork without them needing to be there. For 27 years, Marianne worked as a senior manager with McDonald's, a business that is so famous for its systems, its structure and its scalability. So her mission now is to help successful small business owners to build the systems and the structure that mean that they become super productive and halve the time that they spend on their business. Marianne's also the author of 3 books on this subject, and she's created several unique programs which help business owners worldwide in terms of this consistency of operation. Her vision is a world where business owners have the freedom to work on their business instead of being stuck in it, and who doesn't want to do that? So we were talking all about books, and really interesting to hear that Marianne, like a few of my guests actually that have been on chatting about books, has written 3 books and I think is soon to finish her 4th as well. So really interesting to have her experience and share what writing books has done for her. A couple of things that stood out for me from the episode were how Marianne titles her books. So she talked about her book called Process to Profit and how that attracted the right type of business owners that she wanted to work with. She also spoke about how the books aren't there to make you money, which I think is a theme that has come across loud and clear from a lot of the authors that I've spoken to on the show. She talked about how she uses her books as business cards, which you hear a lot of business authors talking about a book being the best business card that they'll ever have. And I think Marianne's examples very clearly demonstrated that was the case for her. So she spoke about how by having her books and being able to give those out, the investment that she made in getting those published in the first place, she's had that back tenfold. So a great example of book magic and how writing books has led to an increase in her authority, but also attracting the right kind of business. So I thought that was a really interesting observation. A few other ones. She talked about how a lecturer at a university had been using her books with their students from 11 different countries and that they'd got in touch with her to tell her that. And I thought that was a really interesting example of book magic in action and the impact that she was having with her messaging with her books. Another thing that Marianne mentioned was how long it took her to write the book. So her first one, it had taken her 3 months to write that one, but the second one only took 2 weeks. And the reason that she said it took a lot less time was that she had a lot of that content already there. And that got me thinking about a few things. It got me thinking about the fact that if you already have existing content, and it's being creative with where you have this content, you probably already have a bank of information, a bank of resources already out there that you perhaps could pull together to create more content, whether that be an article or a blog post or even a book in the case that it has been for Marianne. So my take action this week is actually going to be around having a bit of an audit in what you already have out there. So is it that you write really great long form social media posts that have some fantastic topics in there that you could expand to either write some chapters in a book or write a longer article? Is it that you are already writing blog posts or articles and actually you've got something there that's the basis for your book? But either way, I think it's a great opportunity to just reflect on what you've already got out there and how you could repurpose it and use it to develop those ideas into something a bit meatier. So whichever stage you're at, so if you've never written a book before, if you've never written an article before, go to your social media posts, have a look at the ones that have resonated with people, see the topics people are interested in, and challenge yourself to write maybe a LinkedIn article, maybe a blog post around, 1,000 words you'd want for something like that, and think about how you can take that next step towards creating more content. So that's going to be the take action for this week. If you're already at that space, then it might be moving that on to thinking about how do you write your first book, or if you've already got a book or two out, how are you going to create that next one? Where's the gap? What would be valuable for you to write? So that is this week's take action. The other final point, actually, just before I finish, around reflection, which might help you if you're just getting started with creating content, was that Marianne talked about how she writes as she talks. And I think that's a really useful reflection, because a lot of the time people think you have to write a book in a certain style, it has to be formal, it has to be written in this way or that way. But actually the most engaging books are the ones where you can almost imagine that person is talking to you. And I think they're the most successful, the most readable, and the best way of doing it. And also it means that you could simplify things, in that you might want to dictate your book into an app that then converts it into text. So it just makes it a bit more accessible. It makes it feel a bit more achievable, a bit more likely that you'll be able to make progress with your writing. So I think that's an interesting point just to end on for today. So I hope that's been useful. As I said before, if you didn't listen to Monday's show, go back and listen to Monday's show. We'll stick the link to that in the show notes. But as always, please do take some action. Please do let me know how you get on, and see you on Monday.